So what do we have the Celtics, man? I mean, I think this team, the way they shot last year, the way they performed, regardless of how they performed in playoffs, it's like they're up there with the championship squads to me.
Oh yeah, I definitely still think they're a potential contender. I do believe that.
Yeah, I definitely stand by that one. Next up, we have the 76ers. This Eastern Conference is just so dominant, but it's just dominated by a couple of teams, and then it kind of falls off a little bit after that. 76ers are trying to figure out their process again, and things just aren't working. We're still waiting to figure out what they're going to do with Harden, because, we all know he wants to be gone. They did go and sign Kelly Oubre from the Charlotte Hornets. What do we think about the 76ers this year? Do you think they're going to fall off again?
Yes. I was going to be straightforward. I do think they will fall off again. I do not. The process has been over for the last 2 years. The process has not been a process. It's been, I don't know what you want to call it, but it's not a process anymore. Embiid, he finally got the MVP last year, and he collapsed. He literally fell apart in the playoffs. He was flopping so much he injured
mid games.
himself.
There was mid games where he was just checking himself out when they were only down by like 12 points. It was like it's still early in the third. You can easily come back from that. This ain't the 80s NBA anymore. 12-point deficit isn't a big deficit. It's really a couple of shots. And because of those things, I had 76ers really high last year. They were my favorite to win the NBA championship. But because of that falling apart, it's like I don't have them any higher than A, and there's even a part of me that wants to throw them in B, especially with Harden being gone and not knowing what's going to come from that, because Harden, it will just not play. We've seen that before. We've seen he just will sit out. So it's either they're going to, they're probably not going to get anything good in return for him because teams know that he just won't play and he just wants out. So they're going to get a mediocre trade for him. And I feel like that's how it's going to go. And they're going to be back in, just a crappy situation.
I will agree with the B, because I don't think they're at the A just because of how they fell apart last season. For whatever reason, I just don't think they're there no more. I don't see it. I don't think the players that they have is. I think the players they have are talented, but I think there's no leadership, and because there's no leadership, there's no heart. So because there's no heart, I can't see them being a contender anymore.
None. They need a true leader on that team.
Sixers fans.
They need a true leader on that team. I think if they can go and grab Drew Holiday, that could be something that could be the leadership that they need in order to boost himself back into the A. But the way that they collapse, it's like I just don't see them at that quality. They'll still be top of, within the top 5 teams in the Eastern Conference, but they aren't a team that I expect to jump out and go and make a big splash in the playoffs anymore. Next up, we're going to have the New York Knicks, who had some exciting moments last year, but then also had some very dull moments last year. What do we think about New York?
New York is an interesting one because I think there's a lot of actual potential on this team. I'm not sure if they're missing parts because I'm not really in depth into that squad like that, but I do like what they have. Brunson with Barrett, and now Dante DiVincenzo has joined over there with his old college teammates. Josh Hart. I like the players they have. Quentin Grimes. This team kind of. I want to say it reminds me of the blue collarness of the old New York Knicks teams, just because they're kind of grungy and willing to get dirty to get the win. So I want to put them higher than we put them last year, because I think this team started to look really good towards the end of last season. They started kind of coming together, and I think that might bode well for this upcoming season. Now, do I see them at a B? I'm not sure. I really just don't know. What are your thoughts?
So I see them right there at the B. I think they're in the middle of the B for me, just because, like you said, they showed a lot of potential last year, and I think they're just a couple of pieces away from being a not a championship contending team, but being a team to be feared of in the league. Much like a lot of the teams, they did collapse a bit in the playoffs, but Brunson went out there, did his thing. I hope Barrett can take that leap. There has been some rumors, or at least some rumors from Knicks fans, that they want to trade him away. We said that we'd like to see your boy from the Hawks go there. I don't know if that'll ever happen, but think that could be interesting. A lot of Knicks fans wanted Damian Lillard. That obviously didn't work out. But I still think they're a solid squad, but just not great. Next up, we're going to have our Brooklyn Nets, who have just went through the ringer the last several years, but last year's probably the most fun basketball, and that's saying a lot considering they had Kyrie, KD, and James Harden all on the same squad at some point. They actually were pretty fun to watch, because they're not playing any type of like buddy ball type of basketball where, a certain player has to have X amount of touches in order, or they'll be all in their drama stage being divas about not getting the ball enough. They're just playing together. They play really solid defense. They take open looks. They have some shooters. They have great defense and even some leadership now coming from Mikal Bridges. Where would you like to rank them though?
This one I might, just for right now, I might want to put them just in the C tier. Not because I don't think they're good. I just think that with the right leadership, and that's coaching, with the right coaching, they can get into the right direction. I'm just not sure if they have that at this moment.
So, and that's kind of why I added this bright future thing here, because I think they could be better than a C. But I don't think yet. I think they finally have a foundation going with the Nets again, whether or not they mess that up as they typically always do. But I think they have a bright future. They just got to bring a star over there that is actually willing to play team basketball and do his thing. I kind of want to put them in bright future instead of C. C to me means like mediocre. They're going to be on the fringe of the playoffs. Bright future means same thing, but they could be very good if they work this trade deadline. What do you think?
Yeah, okay, I can see that. I can see that. You can put it in bright future.
We'll put them in bright future.
I really enjoyed watching them play this last season. I did enjoy watching them play.
I definitely, and you could tell when they were clicking all cylinders. They were putting up some nice 3-point basket, moving up the court. It was really fun to watch. After that, we're gonna have the Toronto Raptors. Let's see, what has the Raptors done so far this offseason? I know they signed the big vet and Garrett Tipple from the Pelicans. That ain't nothing. They do go ahead and sign Dennis Schroeder from the Lakers, which was a player that you and me were both a little surprised to see get let go from the Lakers. I'm hoping he'll be able to showcase his talents over there. But again, it's the Raptors.
Yeah. To be honest about the Raptors, I don't think it's they're I don't know if I can't say do we want to say trash? They're not trash because they have good parts, so they're not trash. At least I don't think they're trash.
I don't think they're trash either.
There's players there that,
but I don't see a bright future in them either.
Bright future, yeah.
They're like,
I think
they're like
team,
more like a C, and they could be trash depending on how it plays out. I did think it was interesting that today, whenever the blockbuster trade was announced, apparently the Raptors were trying to get involved in that trade because Shams actually accidentally made a mistake and said that Lillard was going to the Raptors. So that at least tells me that the Raptors were out there trying. That's what that tells me. So they are out there actively trying to go and grab some better players, which is a good thing. But having to go play in Toronto and move to Canada, it just seems like a hassle. I want to keep them in that C tier.
Yeah, I think C tier is good. I would like to see them possibly, I want to say, restructuring, start over with some new pieces, a new foundation. I just don't know what that team it's not exciting to watch that team unless you're a Toronto Raptors fan.
It's pretty damn boring. I'm not gonna lie. It's pretty damn boring. But that's gonna go ahead and wrap up our Atlantic division in the Eastern Conference.